I guess you're here for the making of video. Well, the director and the producer are both off sick today, but if you'd like, I can have a go at taking you through it. Oh, really? Let's get into it then. And if you said no, you don't want me to, I'm going to do it anyway. Come on. I myself was actually in the studio for a lot of the filming process. Myself and the other person working on the project discussed what angles would look best, whether to zoom in or stay zoomed out at certain scenes. Unfortunately, I couldn't adjust the camera because I wasn't quite tall enough to reach, so the other person ended up being the camera operator. Cool, look at her go! When I spoke to her about this part in the video, she explained that she was very grateful to not have to redo it for a fourth time. Then she explained that the petals are so delicate and so finicky that they kept moving all over the show and would not stay put. Anyway, enough from her. Let's see if we can spot another artist's work. This lovely intern's job was to create a 3D world, which he did by using a balloon, non-toxic glue and newspaper, also known as a papier-mâché. After the papier-mâché earth was created, she then customised it with blue and green tissue paper to create land and sea, and finally added cotton wool for a cloud-like effect. One mistake that was made here was the use of a hairdryer. Whether it was poor time management, impatience, or dodgy heating in her flat, I'll let you decide. But the reason that it was a bad idea was because if you apply heat to a balloon, it causes the air inside to heat up, which then causes the material to expand. Long story short, the balloon became wonky and was an absolute nightmare to work with. We are still grateful for the contribution to the project, especially because she did it for free. We did not pay her because of the mistake. It was an error with them, and she offered to do. Let's just move on. The beginning of the movie solidification. Myself and the director went to a coffee shop at the start of the project just to clarify the way of which the film was going to be created. It didn't take long to draft up a storyboard for it, and if it did, it certainly didn't feel that we were in there for that long. Oh dear. Like any project, there's bound to be things that go wrong, no matter how hard you work, and after rereading the module brief and spotting something that was missed throughout an entire day of shooting, my colleague, bless her heart, was just exhausted. And then I actually checked the brief, and apparently you've got to include laser cutting. So I did have a little cry, a little one, and I also had a freak out because there's a lot of work due in, and I just feel like I'm very far behind. But I know I'll persevere. I know I'll get through it. Your girl just needs a minute, you know? There are things that people struggle with when they create, and this is mine. Okay, I'll see you on the flip side. I know it'll be better. The important thing in times you feel down is to never give up. Lessons learned. Always check the module brief. Come on, let's not wallow here for too long. And, by the way, laser cutting was actually super easy and fun to do. The director wanted the project to feature a realistic and a surrealistic, more childlike view of the world, because the project was reflective of how she sees the world in her own perspective, through a positive lens, yet still in touch with reality. When I was editing in transitions, I was editing in sound, music, and just a finishing credit scene. I mean, the project speaks for itself, really. There wasn't anything else to add on to. It was just the final tweaks to make it look spectacular. The one issue that I found during my role in this project was when I sourced the music from What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. There was a scene in which is similar to our project. It wasn't copyrighted, it wasn't, I think it was just the term is great minds think alike. So I think maybe maybe that was the case in this one, I don't know. You have to ask the director. Okie dokie guys, that's the end of how we made the project. I hope you enjoyed it and tell your friends about how dope it was. I'm gonna scoot. See you around.